This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.
Fan.
Tomorrow night, head down to Kieran's Irish Pub in Minneapolis for a Game 5 Ultra KFAN watch party with Helvey. We're kicking off the pre-party at 8. We've got chances to win prizes, play games, and sample Michelob Ultra. Get all the details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
The legendary Mark Rosen is already plotting his trip to New York City today.
I am.
He said it would be bucket list item for him to fly to New York and watch the Bulls play the Knickerbockers in person at Madison Square Garden.
It would. It'd get my son there somehow. We were there for his 18th birthday in 2004.
Whoa, wait a minute. You said you're going to get a media pass. You can't get him one, too.
No, I couldn't. I would have to get tickets.
You can't, yeah.
No, I'd have to get tickets, which I did when we went there for his 18th birthday.
They'd be pretty pricey.
Oh, God. They're pricey here tomorrow night.
Well, how much are they?
I mean, I talked to a guy that I see in my workout room this morning, and he's got...
With the Fitness King?
No. Tomorrow I work out with the Fitness King. I was just getting my cardio in this morning. And I see a guy who's got half-season tickets, and I think he's got pretty good seats, but they were, I think they're up to 7-something right now.
700?
Yeah, this round. They go up.
700's not bad. I thought you were going to say 7,000.
No. And they're not, that's face value. I think, and then if they get, well, they should. Next round, it'd be over 1,200 or something.
Huh?
1,200?
Yeah, per ticket.
To sit in a cramped chair at a basketball arena.
Wow. People paid that to go see Taylor Swift. So, I know you live in a different world, but I wouldn't do it. It's just, I'm not going to disagree with you.
5 minutes after the greatest king, everything pales in comparison.
Yeah, I understand that, but
there's nothing that could happen in the Knickerbockers. I don't know what would have to happen, Knickerbockers Wolves Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, that would be more epic than Blackjack Morris and John Smoltz' performance. I can't think of what would compare to it.
But I don't disagree with it. But
maybe a half. Maybe a full court buzzer beater in 8th overtime by Ant.
We are of a certain age where there's generations that never experienced that. We haven't had a major men's team in a championship game since 1991. I mean,
sad,
the
really.
big one. I mean, obviously the Vikings have been in an NFC championship game.
And they weren't that far out of that last one.
They were close.
All they needed was a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and an onside kick, a touchdown. That's not Larry Mondello, guy.
Oh, I thought it was.
I write most of my own material.
Well, we've heard
lot of my, okay. A third of my own material. But that's,
okay.
I wrote that one.
All right. That's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Gold standby.
It pisses off Vikings fans, but I can't help it.
Well, I mean, you got to acknowledge it wasn't
it is what it is, yeah. You got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't
right?
as painful. That game wasn't nearly as painful as the previous championship game.
No.
And certainly the 41 Donut one was less painful because it was such a blowout. It was over by halftime. I left the stadium.
John Madden said it best to be about that Giants Vikings NFC championship game. I mean, he pretty much summed it up in a couple of statements.
Sometimes when you practice, you'll set up chairs. And you run through chairs just to show zones and stuff. The Viking defense looks like it's chairs.
Vikings defense looks like it was chairs.
That's what the Warriors defense looked like in the third quarter last night.
And then the final thing that
All the defensive backs covering are just atrocious today for the Minnesota Vikings.
They were just atrocious, and it was Kerry Collins.
Don't even get me started.
It wasn't even Jeff Hostetler.
No, it wasn't even Phil Simms.
Hostetler, you could go, okay. Jeff had his
Eli
moments,
Manning.
but it was literally Kerry Collins.
Bleeping Collins, yeah. That was one for the books. I left at halftime. I had to catch an early flight. I actually did.
So your club, this is a good one. Getting his cardio in, doesn't Common get Rosen's blood pumping for every hour, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? That's a very good line.
It actually
and it's not Larry Mandela guy.
No.
I'm surprised you didn't credit Larry Mandela guy.
No, I did not. And thank you. You're right about that.
Yeah.
100% correct.
Get in price resale market is about 140 deep into the upper deck.
Yeah.
That's what it is right about now.
It makes sense. I was talking to Guardsy about that. I think he's going with his wife tomorrow night to the game. So, yeah.
She didn't go along to Golden State?
No. I think he got a media ticket. He was just talking about the experience being there and getting there on time, and first time in the Oracle, is that the name of the arena?
I don't know.
Downtown, right by the.
Is he all giddy? Was he just giddy?
No, he was tired.
No.
he's on he needs some more coffee, I think, because, pretty quick turnaround. I mean, I was like, wow, Guardsy went to the Bay to go see the game for one game and then flew right back. That's impressive.
Hey, boy, what could compare to Blackjack Smoltz Game 7? How about a little-known radio bridge producer hitting a 40-foot putt for a 10 and fist pumping? That was big. And then, Tennessee shot a 74 once.
I'm aware of that.
That's not...
No.
That Tennessee's had an experience that's not unlike that of a PGA Tour pro.
I always loved that.
Shooting that. That's what Church said. Tennessee had an experience that was like a PGA Tour pro.
Well, golf will do that. We can all experience that for one moment.
Well, no, Tennessee was playing a 6,100-yard golf course without many obstacles and no pressure.
The putt's the putt, though.
It's a little different from 7,500 yards. Big money on line.
You got to give me a golfer to
But
pick
Charch went ahead and he thought that there was a comparable experience.
Well, Charch is Charch. Now he's gone.
Well, he didn't die.
No, he's gone. He left the state. I didn't want to make it. He's in Utah. I'm just saying. Yeah.
He's in Utah now.
Yeah, good for him.
So you, this series is over, right?
Yes.
It's done tomorrow night.
Yeah, I don't think Golden State was real anxious about flying back here, given the circumstances and with Curry not coming back. And they know, I think everyone's seen it. And Steve Kerr, this guy's he's a winner, he's a champion. He understands. Sure, they made a game of it, but, there's always going to be maybe those moments, as we saw last night, or that quarter when the Wolves outscored them 39-17, that Golden State's just not going to be able to keep up. They just don't.
Not without Curry.
No, they just don't have the firepower.
If they got Curry on that club, it'd be fun to watch him and
it would be.
And Edwards go back and forth.
And said that last night.
Well, well, of course he's like everyone else. The people that really enjoy the competition sport. I know there are fans out there that I'm not saying they're glad Curry got hurt, but they like it because it gives them a better chance to win. Well, I think most people are. You want to beat the very best, especially the guys out on the court. Yeah. I mean, you saw how devastated the Knickerbockers were last night when Tatum went down. You could tell not just because they wanted to keep playing against him, but because you're all brethren, you're all in the league.
It's a fraternity,
and you saw how. The pain he was in. I mean, that was devastating.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm playing a doctor. We're just going to wait for the MRI. I mean, we've all seen a lot of Achilles type of things, whether it's Kirk Cousins or whatever. Normally, you don't see someone in that kind of absolute anguish. Maybe it looked like he broke something. And it's a moot point. He's out for probably, he could be out for
part of next year.
Yeah, I mean, until he gets the news. But you're 100% right. It was a really entertaining game, and the Knicks came back at home, and they were just a big surprise before Tatum. Tatum was having a sensational game, and he was keeping the Celtics in it, and they were not done, and certainly the series was still there for them to try to come back. But now, I mean, all the Karl Anthony Towns, all the players, Jalen Brunson after the game before he even answered a question acknowledged Tatum and what he means to not only, of course, the Celtics, but to the game of basketball. And it is. I mean, it's crushing to a lot of foes and teammates alike. Yeah, no one, of course, wants to see something like that.
So that series is over. So the Knicks are going to advance, and they're going to play either the Pacers or the Cavs. The Wolves are going to take on the Nuggets or the
Thunder. Yeah.
Or the Thunder. Who do you think it's going to be?
Well, I think it's going to be the Thunder. I just think they're going to wear down. Joker looks like he's getting worn down a little bit. Now, tonight they play.
Does he look tuckered?
He looks tuckered.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's still very, very capable. That team has got a lot of grit. We've seen them. They won a championship a few years ago. The Wolves, beat them last year. But as someone once famously said, never underestimate the heart of a champion. But I think OKC.
Who did say that?
I think it was Rudy Tomjanovich.
Wasn't it? I don't remember.
Him or Nelly?
Or I don't know.
The rapper.
Nelly the rapper.
Champion.
Yeah. I think OKC's, rightfully, they're playing the game tonight, and I think they have to be the favorite. I mean, that would be tremendous Western Conference final between OKC and the Wolves. Either one would be, but I think OKC in particular.
And who do you like in that series?
The Wolves. What do you look at? Let's wait till that happens. Neither team is there
This
yet.
is the guy who had the Wolves getting beat in the first
By the
round
Lakers.
by the Lakers, and now he's got them steamrolling past the Thunder.
I told you they would win 3 in a row from Golden State for $4 big that I gave you before.
After Curry went down, I tweeted the minute he went down, the Dubs are done. I mean, you knew that as soon as he went down that they were going to win.
I felt the same way about the Laker thing, so there you go. It doesn't matter. No, I honestly, I like...
good deflection there, Rosen.
I think I'm good at that. I like the versatility of this Wolves team right now. And they're only playing 8 guys, which I'm a little surprised that Finch hasn't expanded his bench a little bit more.
You think that could be trouble against the Thunder? They go pretty deep?
They do. I think the big thing, if they can, obviously, they can finish things off tomorrow night. They get. I think the first game would be next Tuesday. They would have to open up on the road against either OKC or Denver, but give them a few days rest. But yeah, they're happy with their rotation. But I'd like to see them. I still like to see Shannon play a few more minutes to give him a little juice out there. But
why don't you talk to him about it?
I'll mention it to him tomorrow before the game.
You do that.
Pre-game little news conference that he does.
7-2 in the playoffs, and you're critical of the coaching.
Yeah.
Who's critical? I'm just saying they're doing it with an 8-man rotation.
Remember when they asked Zimmer about who was the quarterback?
Kellen Mond.
I've seen him in practice.
Kellen Mond, I've seen him in practice. I think they've seen Shannon in practice, and they realize
I'm just
he's
saying,
not ready to play right now.
Well, he can be ready to play in minutes, but might not.
I think what I mean by that is they just don't think he's ready for this moment right now.
Well, probably not. But these guys are playing 40+ minutes, and that's kind of where most of them are.
You got to strap it on, Mark. Strap it on, baby. These are the Western Conference Finals.
You wait for.
You're trying to get to the finals, me boy. We'll break. Come back right now. Tennebee's got what we like to call a bonus bucks keyword.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword GRAND at KFAN.com now for your shot of winning. That keyword is GRAND. Enter it now at KFAN.com. Legendary Bryan Adams is set to wrap up his Roll with the Punches tour at Target Center on November 26th, and you could be there. Check out our contest page to see how you can enter to win a pair of tickets. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest to enter today.
Couple 13-14 pass, Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. He's the legendary Mark Rosen. So the game's close last night at the half. Ant hits a buzzer beater at the half point. Then he goes in, he basically admonishes the team along with Finchy, and they come out and put together a third quarter that's about as good as it gets. There was maybe you have the story in front of you, you can get the exact stat, but something like it was the biggest point differential in a quarter in the history of Timberwolves playoffs basketball or something like that.
There's so many stats out there.
They just destroyed them. I think it was What was that third? Was it
39-17?
39-17.
Yeah,
biggest point differential ever, I think, for a Timberwolves team in a basketball game. And Ant just how many did he have in that third? I lost track. Was it 16?
They went on a 19-0
But I mean, how many did he have? I think
it was 16.
I think he was.
Yeah.
I think he went off for something like 16 points in the third quarter.
Right.
And that's just that's basically taking over a basketball game.
Well,
there was really nothing they could.
Even Draymond Green said,
do.
We're not going to Superman this thing. If he's in place where he can play, I'm sure he will. He's talking about Steph Curry, but Curry's already said, I'm not going to be Superman. He's not playing tomorrow night. I mean, that's just you can put it out of your minds. It's not going to happen. But and this is the way that the Warriors constructed their team post Klay Thompson. When they had the Splash Brothers, and when you can't rely on. When you're relying on a bench player, Jonathan Kuminga, to be your best scorer at this point, you're probably not going to help. I mean, Jimmy Butler, I thought, to me, looked like he would rather be in Cancun.
You think he quit? You're basically claiming he quit.
Well, I did. He looked disengaged. I mean, put it that way. I mean, they talked about him, sitting for quite a while and thinking, well, Steve Kerr wants to, keep him fresh for the, third, fourth quarter. Well, he just looked disengaged. Didn't look for a shot very much.
Yeah, this is the stat. I had it right. It says the Wolves beat the Warriors 39-17 in the third quarter, the highest positive point differerential for the Wolves in any quarter in their postseason history. Edwards scored 16 on 6 for 8 shooting in the third. He buried 3 3-pointers, and the Wolves transformed back into the tough defensive unit they knew they could be after slacking in several areas during the first half, namely containing the ball and rebounding. And that's another, that's again, and maybe I'm nitpicking, and maybe that's the way basketball is. The other team certainly has something to do with it, but it says that they were slacking in the several areas of the first time, and maybe it was what Golden State was doing. I just sometimes wonder if the focus is completely there. Ant even said we were letting Jonathan Kuminga get everywhere that he wanted to go. He had 16 of his 23 in the first half, and that's why they were in the ballgame.
Well, I've watched a lot of playoff basketball, and I think that the way you just described it, and even some of the quotes from the players, you can pretty much fill in the blanks for almost every game that you watch, because it's a team, it's a game of runs. Teams aren't going to be locked in all the time. Yeah, the other guys credit, obviously Golden State was in desperation mode last night. I mean, Draymond Green came out and hit a couple of 3-pointers early, and then that he kind of quieted down. But Hield is can be a dead-eye shooter. He 2 of 6, but without having that backbone score, that iconic score.
Well, that's why to me it's a bit of an asterisk in the series. Finch said, I thought we were just kind of doing 85% of the job out there in the first half. Yeah. Edwards added, just game plan mistakes that can't happen if you want to beat a championship team and if you want to be going to the finals or the Western Conference Finals. At least you can't let those things happen. You've got to be better. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know how you allow that to happen. When you have a team that is it's 5 against 4. They're playing a team that is playing with one hand tied behind its back. Now they won, they took over. At least Ant woke them up, and then that's what the great players do. He was able to wake the team up, admonish them at the halftime, and then play the way he's supposed to play. If they do these things, if it ends up being the Thunder and they do these things a little too often, the Thunder won't let them off the hook. And that's so the next series, unless the Thunder has a major injury, unless one of the if SGA goes up, but if they come in healthy as you can be and we can be, you can't have an 85% of the things. Well, you can't come in, like Ant said, game plan mistakes. He said it. You can't let that happen.
But you've seen OKC do that exact same thing you're talking about against Denver, where they have these lulls where you're going, what are they doing out there?
Right? That's what I'm saying. You can't do that if you're going to be a championship team.
But every team does it in the playoffs. How often do you see a team start
I guess you're right,
quarter?
But to me, you're letting the Wolves off the hook.
I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm just talking about the reality of NBA playoff basketball.
I guess.
I don't think it's. The one guy Julius Randle's been the star. Ant is Ant. He's still going to make the shots that matter the most. But Julius Randle's been the star of this postseason for the Timberwolves, and he got off to a great start. Slowed down a little bit, but. His ability to kind of control the game and do the thing. I mean, Golden State simply does not have an answer. And if he's hitting anywhere near and knocking down 3-point shots, they're dead. I mean, you can't you can't guard Julius Randle, 30 feet from the basket and then pretend like, Draymond Green or anyone else is going to handle him inside. Not going to happen. And so they have a nice combination. And I think the one guy, and we haven't talked about him very much, I think Rudy Gobert's defensive presence has had a lot to do with it. I watched a number of occasions last night when Golden State would try to maybe drive the lane a little bit, and all of a sudden you got your 7'2" guy that's sitting there, and he may not make the play, and it's not going to show up in the box score, but he definitely alters a lot of the shot-making decisions that Golden State wants to do. So, it's that first game, there's a distant memory now where they came out and Curry had 13 points before he got hurt. And the Wolves lost that game badly, even without Curry, went out of the game. But now they're in a position to close it out and get a few days rest before they play, the next series next Tuesday night
against the Thunder. And you're predicting a Wolves victory.
Well, the Thunder. The Thunder has to win. It's
right
2-2. I mean, it's not no assurance that they're going to. I think that's going to be a 7-game series. I really do. I think that. I don't think that would be harmful to the Wolves.
But if the Wolves face the Thunder, you're taking the Wolves.
Yes.
And then you're taking them you're picking them to win the NBA championship this year, it sounds like to me.
Probably. They pick them to beat the Lakers, but pick them to win the
NBA.
I just think it would be, you, of all people, because you love talking about Bodega Cat. I love Bodega. How rich would that be? They have then you get the biggest market in the country.
They were so good last night. That's a really good basketball.
With all due respect to the Indiana Pacers, come on.
That's a really good basketball team, the Knickerbockers.
Well, they're really fun to watch. Brunson.
They're a really good basketball team.
Yeah, but they can be had, too.
Well, of course they can. I'm just saying, they're a really good basketball team.
That would be the entertaining
Don't sleep on the Pacers, by the way.
Yeah, and don't
sleep on a scrappy team.
And don't sleep on the Pacers either.
No,
and don't sleep on Joker.
Cleveland.
Don't sleep on Joker.
I'm not sleeping on him.
I think it sounds like you're sleeping on Joker a little bit.
I just said it's going to go 7. I like this music.
It's pretty good. We'll take a final break, and we'll come back with a little of that, with the emphasis on a lot of people weighing in on the Bradshaw and Bryan KFAN text line at 64686. We'll get to some of those comments when we return to the Common Man program on the Fan.
Carboni's Pizzeria wants to fuel your playoff party. Visit one of their 30-plus locations to enjoy delicious pizza and get ready for the playoff run. Find your nearest Carboni's today at carbonispizza.com.
I'm really not trying to pick on anybody. About 8 people have said you stole the Rudy Gobert take from PA today.
I wish I had, because I didn't hear PA today. Okay. I was running errands and was.
Then why do people continue to say these things?
I could care less. I don't know. I didn't hear PA.
I thought you stole it from Twitter because I saw it on Twitter last night.
I stole it from everybody. That's all I do. People they have lonely lives out there. They have to try to pick on me.
And why? I don't know. Maybe it's because they're envious and jealous.
Probably. I didn't hear PA. And who was he talking to? Himself?
Trent Tucker, I think.
Oh, I had Trent on my podcast yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about Rudy Gobert. We talked about, obviously, the series. We talked about his hockey-playing kids. We talked about his years at the University of Minnesota. What does he think about Williams Arena? What does he think about, all that kind of stuff. It was fun. Really enjoyable. Talked about Michael Jordan, of course. And
where can people find that podcast?
Pretty much anywhere on iHeartRadio. Yeah. I Talk North Sports. Just look it up. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good conversation.
It's called Rosen Sports Monday.
Correct. Thank you.
Because you do it on Monday.
I do it on Monday, yes.
So
Twins are rained out today in Baltimore for those of you who
they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah, doubleheader tomorrow.
I must admit, I was a bit surprised and almost disappointed that you said you have no intentions of going to see the Vikings play in Dublin and London back to back.
Well, no, we're not. I mean, they're technically road games. So my wife's involvement is chief legal officer and all the stuff that she does with the team, all the corporate sponsors, is minimized because unlike a year ago in particular when they went to London and played in Tottenham, the Vikings were the home team and their responsibilities are massive compared to being the road team. No, they're still going to have a presence there, and fans will find a way of getting there. But
you're not going.
No, not going. No, I'll be doing my pregame shows. I assume early in the morning.
It's going to be an Iron
kickoff. Dublin would be fun. I love London. London is one of the great cities in the world. I love London. But no, it's and I saw a quote thing from Kevin O'Connell that said, and then you can expect the Vikings are going to have their bye week the following week. Schedule's announced tomorrow. Anticipation is the Vikings will be opening up at home. I have an idea who they're opening up against, but I can't say.
Lions.
Maybe.
Well, we know that.
Oh, did you hear that from
my
someone?
Sources, yeah. Told me it will be the Lions.
That'd be great.
Be the Motor City Kitties.
That would be quite the opening game. Would it be like a noon game or a prime time game?
It's prime time.
Well, I would think it would be, but
trust me.
I mean, come on, J.J. McCarthy playing against a team from Michigan? What are you eating?
Strawberry.
Oh, okay. Looks good.
Trust me. And strawberries, cherries, and
I got some grapes at home waiting for
a little bit of
yogurt. Looks
a little bit of yogurt.
Yeah, looks good.
It is good. That's the kind of guy I am.
Yeah, it's. I get a kick out of it. We all do. The Kenny had some fun with it. I know on Twitter. The schedule release date. They have a big show tomorrow night. The NFL does, and by tomorrow night at 6:00, all the games will be
correct
released one way or another, and you'll have an advanced look at the schedule. The fascination with it is.
Sauce is excited.
Well, I'm sure. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people try to make plans, and again, this is different. I mean, the Vikings back-to-back international games, I think does benefit them. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, you're not playing in Pittsburgh, which is a tough place to play. You're not playing in Cleveland. The Vikings already. I saw point spreads already for these games. The Vikings are already 1.5 favored over Pittsburgh. This is hilarious, and 7 over Cleveland. But the fact matter is, it'll still be, even though the Vikings aren't technically the home team, they'll have a massive amount of fans there. That'll be there. It'll be half and half, I think, especially Pittsburgh. I think travels well. As we all know, the Steelers have a big following of the terrible towels everywhere, more so than Cleveland, but Cleveland will as well. And it's, they're home games for them. And I think, of course, you'd rather play at a neutral site than play in their stadiums. So I don't think it's a disadvantage to the Vikings. They'll be prepared for it. KOC already kind of said that, today, and they'll have their bye week in all likelihood right after that, and they'll be there for 2 weeks. It's a massive undertaking for equipment managers and all the other logistics stuff.
Could it be a disappointment because you're away from home for 2 weeks, away from family and friends, and you don't get your own practice facility?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I think it might be a disadvantage.
They are creatures of habit, and I think that's what's the game day. I mean, I think once you get there, and when the game is kicked off, and you're at a stadium, and you get adjusted to the time zone, as we've seen. The Vikings haven't. I think you mentioned it earlier. I don't think they've lost an international game.
No.
That and it's the game itself. I don't think it'll be. But then it's the routine around everything else. And then in this case, it'll be the first time that a team has stayed there for 2 weeks and gone from, in this case, from Dublin, and they're going to play in Tottenham again, which they're familiar with. But then they know the surroundings where they practice. It's quite a ways out from London proper, where their workouts is. But they have it all set up. They'll have their sleep schedule set up. They got a lot of people over there that work on these things. So I don't think it's going to be. I mean, the players may not be thrilled about it. I don't know how many of them will be able to take their families with them and that type of thing, to have some free time for them in particular. 2 great cities like Dublin and London. But it's the way the NFL is doing business right now. They're playing a game in Brazil. They're playing they're going back to, I think they're playing in Berlin. So there's X number of games that they keep expanding, and there's a lot of corporate rights that are involved. The Vikings have the rights. One of the teams that have the rights in London, even when they're not playing there, that they can sell merchandise, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a pretty cool deal. But no, not going.
Tenby and I are going.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You wouldn't walk across the street.
Oh, no, we're going.
You go to Dublin, you play some golf?
Yeah, we're going to.
Good for
Abbott
you.
basically said it was a great idea, so we're going to bring our wives, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to play golf.
You got to fly on your own?
No, station's going to pay for everything. We're going to go in the morning.
Okay, I'm glad I'm sitting down when you said that.
We're going in the morning.
The morning of what?
To play golf.
Okay.
And then in the afternoon, Ken and I will take our wives out and, we'll go, see some of the sites in jolly old England.
Oh, wait, you're talking about England, not Dublin.
Well, both. We're going all.
Oh, you go for 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks, we're going to go.
Wow.
And then we'll do our show there every week or every day. And then, because the show will be on 6 to 9.
Right.
Actually, it would be 3 to 6, right?
No, it's 6 hours ahead of us.
There's 6. Yeah, there's 6.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember Chad Murray was doing a 9 to midnight when I was over there before, and I would join him on the show. So we'll be going 6 to 9.
Perfect.
So it'll work out just beautiful over there. We'll be able to play a little golf in the morning. It's going to be wonderful.
And Abbott's footing the bill.
Well, we're working.
Well, I know, but it's, it's.
You sound surprised.
I am. Gargi flew to San Francisco on his own dime yesterday. And I don't think.
Yes, Rube. We're working. He was just there as a
going to cover
Rube
practice?
Do what?
Breaking up.
We're not going to cover practice.
Well, that's not working then. You're not gonna go and put a microphone in front of a KOC and JJ McCarthy and
they'll be done with practice. They'll come and visit us between 6 and 9.
I see. It's like they do it at TCO when we're all doing the show out there. They come over to. I get it. Okay.
So it'll be like Radio Row.
Well,
I've got a good vibe with everybody over at. They enjoy.
Yeah.
Got all of our good friends.
I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm going to miss it.
We're going to be playing Old Head. There's so many great golf courses over there.
Right. Yeah.
Then we go to London. Jolly old England.
Yeah.
Go see a lot of the sites. Go to Buckingham Palace.
Go to the Churchill War Room. That was my favorite thing
maybe
last
go to the
year.
Churchill War Room.
That was phenomenal last year.
Then we might do a
taking a play, the West End.
They go see the
Buckingham.
Which is near the Eiffel Tower, I believe. Leaning Tower Pieces over by Big Ben.
Yeah, Roethlisberger will be there.
Yep. So,
man, you guys must be pumped. And it's a beautiful time of year to go into September, early October.
That was the beauty of it. If it was going to be in November, December.
No way. No, that's why I think a lot of people will go because it's perfect time.
Abbott said it was a reward for all the hard work we've done for the radio station.
I'm impressed. Congratulations.
Well, we have been doing very well.
Yes.
I mean, the report cards show it. Our numbers are unprecedented. So the people like our coverage. They like what we do.
Again, for a guy who doesn't like walking across the street,
I'm sacrificing for
the betterment of the station.
For the betterment of the station. I'm going ahead and put my personal
distaste of flying 8 hours.
Exactly.
Long flight.
Yep. So okay.
Have fun.
Well, yeah, but we're flying first class, so
of course you are. You would. What would be the point of?
I'm not going if it ain't. I told Abbott right away. I said if I ain't going to first class, he said you will be. The way he phrased it, he said you'll be offered every courtesy and consideration.
I'm waiting for him to burst into the studio and just start hysterically laughing.
He said you intend to be offered his exact words, every courtesy and consideration.
Wow. I'm speechless. I just never imagined. I'm talking about going to New York when the Wolves play the Knicks in the NBA Finals, and you're talking about going to Dublin and London.
You can still call up over there.
I'm aware of that.
When you're on the show, I mean, you can call us.
Oh, sure.
We'll put you on for your hour.
Yeah, I can call.
You could absolutely do that. Yeah. We'd love to have you.
All right. I'll think about it.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be a little different hour, but during dinner hour, I guess I can eat my dinner on radio like you do every day.
Why not? So, there was something else I wanted to ask you about the Vikings, but I don't recall what it was. Let's talk a little Twins here because we haven't talked about the Twins much at all. I was telling this to Tenneby yesterday. They are 21-20 in their 5 games out of first place. If they were in almost any other division in baseball, they'd be a game out. They're playing in a very competitive and very good division. Detroit's got the best record in the American League. Cleveland is very good, and so is Kansas City.
It's great to see.
And they're at 21-20. Here's the thing. The way they got to 21-20 is probably better than the opposite because I'd rather have won 8 in a row to get to 21-20 than to have lost 8 in a row to get to 21-20. So they're on an 8-game winning streak, and Buxton's playing like You know, I remember was it last year? I think it was at the beginning of the season, or maybe it was the year before when Baldelli said he's the best player in the world. And it's like,
kind of scoffed.
I don't know. I certainly did. I kind of rolled my eyes, shrugged my shoulder, and shook my head.
Well, that's quite a statement.
But the way he has played the last few weeks, if he has not played like the best player in the world, he has played among them. Mm-hmm. And the pitching staff is quality. There's no question. I mean, they it's not like a brilliant start every time, but their core starters generally give good efforts, give their teams a chance to stay in the game. The bullpen's pretty good, and yeah, it's sort of like I compare it to the NFC North. Mm-hmm. The NFC North is very competitive. You have Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, all playoff teams last year, all very good. They look like they've all improved some. The Bears should be better with, they have a highly regarded, I mean, he's never been a head coach, but he's still highly regarded. He was like the number one guy out there for any team to hire a guy. They got a rookie, second-year quarterback that they think's got that, the world is his oyster. They worked on their offensive line and some skill position players. And so you have four, let's say the Bears do improve like I think they will. That's four really good teams in one division. Twins have four teams in one really good division. So the AL Central reminds me a lot of the NFC North as far as it's how deep it is, how talented the teams are, and how competitive it is.
And it's great to see. I know the Twins, during their winning streak, I don't think they made up a game for the most part. And not saying they're the laughing stock, but when you associate the American League East in particular, even a team like Baltimore, which was really good a year or two ago, the usual suspects with the Yankees and the Red Sox and even the Orioles up there, and Toronto be pretty competitive. But when you see teams that develop their own talent for the most part, when you mention teams that don't necessarily have the biggest budgets, but Detroit, Kansas City, and Cleveland, they're all playing good ball right now, and then of course so are the Twins, and so it's great because they really haven't had a lot of those head-to-head meetings yet, and the Twins played some exciting ball over the weekend. They're getting some timely hits. It'd be nice when they get Wallner back from his injury. He was having a great start, and I think as far as his power bat goes. But yeah, they got enough depth in their everyday lineup right now, and then on the bench to make it interesting. And again, you talked about it, it's all about starting pitching, and it's all about pitching every time. So all you could ask for is, after having such an awful start where they were really just unwatchable, and given the ownership situation and the lack of zero accountability or doing anything to acquire talent during the offseason, you can't blame fans for going out. I'm not going to invest my time or money in this team. Right. And now there's a reason to. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to still be a slow drip. I mean, a little bit, but we're getting into, once we get past Memorial Day, and, they always say when school gets out and they'll draw more people, and they will. I mean, what about the rigged NBA lottery? Dallas, the fans are leaving in droves. They want the general manager fired. They want the team. All of a sudden, they're going to get Cooper Flagg. I'm not much of a conspiracy theory guy, and I think that when you think of the team that had the best odds of winning the lottery, they were still at only 13%. That's not a high percentage. Granted, Dallas was at 1 point whatever percent. The league wanted, they knew they needed to get Dallas something, or that fan base was going to torch the stadium. Yeah. And now there's even conversation that will they even keep Cooper Flagg? Will they trade that pick to try to get Giannis, or whatever they might be doing? I don't know. I doubt it. I think they got to take Cooper Flagg, especially when you got to kind of on a rookie deal. I wish someone would explain to me how it is rigged. I mean, I know I've seen video of like when there's a combination that they use where the ping pong balls get sent up, and then you have to deduce it's rigged. Trust me. But that's punishable by. I mean, it's fraud. Is what that is. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I try not to believe in it. I do like, and someone was talking about this. I don't remember where I heard it today. The idea when you have a lottery, like, it avoids having teams tank, and people were speculating or having, kind of those sports conversations. Should the NFL do this? Should
the Mike Greenberg comment?
Oh, is that Greenberg? I know I saw it somewhere that And I think it's a worthy conversation of saying, instead of, the team that has the worst record automatically gets the number one pick in the NFL, should there be a lottery situation? And I actually think it's a pretty good idea.
There's the NFL schedule reveal tomorrow. There's a bigger reveal later this week.
Oh, I'm aware of that. The program password reveal.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
This man over there is...
What's the countdown for that?
Worked diligently. Yeah,
I know
46 hours.
What time is it going to happen?
1:15 on Thursday.
Well, you know how there are schedule leaks in the NFL?
Right.
There's some leaks going on right now regarding...
Seriously?
There are several inside sources reporting the first matchup will take place at 1:30 on a weekday here in the KFAN studio.
But
Tell me, do you think that's accurate?
Well, I know whether it is accurate or not. I would say it's not accurate.
And you put the teams
it won't
together.
be at 1:30 on a weekday in the KFAN studio?
1:30 is just kind of a Friday thing. When it's the other days, we don't want to boot Rosen out for another segment. So, the other weekdays it'll be 1:15 because we don't want Rosen get his full hour in.
So now that's just been leaked. They're going to be 1:15. See?
Yeah, there you go.
It's just been leaked. 1:30.
I got to pick a golfer tomorrow for the PGA. Give me someone besides the usual suspect.
Take Bryson DeChambeau. He's your favorite player.
He is my favorite player. I'm thinking more John Rahm this time.
Are you?
Yeah. A live guy. Yeah,
don't sleep on Strep.
Straka. I saw him.
Did I say strep throat?
Strep throat. Yeah, I watched him last week.
We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
It's NB. Thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. And we enjoyed our visit with you today. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket JG. They're next here on The Fan.
Okay, calm down.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Pittman, Chairman and CEO of iHeartMedia. On this week's episode of Math and Magic, I'm sitting down with the one and only Bobby Bones. We're exploring the power of audio.
Yeah, I don't fit into one specific hole. I think that is what endeared me to listeners. That's why I'm here now, because I talk to people that grew up like me, have sensibilities like me, and have loyalties like me.
Listen to Math and Magic, stories from the frontiers of marketing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast.